Hey you guys, welcome back to Michael Clarida Arts. Man, I am super excited today. I think I say that every single time I do an intro, right? You don't want to watch somebody, hey, today we're just going to do some stuff, it's going to be all right. No, man, I am super excited today, and there's a reason. Not only do I get to sometimes review tech, which is a huge part of my career, because, you know, with digital illustration and the way that I do things in design, the manipulability, is that a word? And capability to manipulate images digitally is hand in hand with my client relationships. So I have to manipulate things and do things on a level digitally that can facilitate their requests. Like if I do a plush design and they want to change the color, I can go in digitally and do it very quickly because we all know time is money. And the tools that I use, because they are tools, have to be quick in a way that they don't inhibit creativity, right? You don't want to have to climb a mountain every single time you sit down and draw something digitally. That's why I love reviewing tablets. I love reviewing peripheral items. And I love reviewing computers. Computers are at kind of a waypoint, you know, a crossroads, right? That technology is evolving super quick. I just saw this morning that AI, or at least the, you know, the current iteration of AI is being a little frisky in the Microsoft world, and in the Google world, and in some of the other, you know, Amazon world. So they typically use AI for chatbots and stuff like that. So I just saw on the news that some of these big tech companies were having to inhibit because some of the reactions from the AI is indeed questionable. But that is exciting. I know, as disturbing as it sounds, no, that is exciting because that is another level of complication, of technological advancement that we're moving forward, right? You don't ever want to move backward. That being said, I get to review a piece of technology today that was actually given to me. Microsoft reached out to me on Twitter because I typically post something every day. If you don't know, and if you don't haven't seen me on social media, I'm on Instagram. Just Google my name, Michael Clarida, and it'll come up. It's that's the way I can show it to you. Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, LinkedIn. I am on Snapchat, but I don't do anything on Snapchat. Of course, YouTube, which is what you're viewing this video on. And so they reached out to me after watching me for a while, and they said, hey, we like your artwork. We love what you do. In celebration of our 10-year anniversary, it's hard to believe that the Surface line has been out for 10 years. We would like to send you a Surface Laptop Go 2 for free. And I'm like, first of all, I looked at that message in my message feed, and I'm like, yes, somebody's phishing. Somebody in a foreign country, or even in the United States, or next door, is trying to phish me to give me, you know, or to give them my information, you know, and so I responded accordingly. I said, hey, I'm super interested. What do I need to do? And they gave me the criteria and said somebody will be in contact soon. And I'm like, yeah, right. So then they kept commenting on my stuff, and I looked at their account, and it's verified. So it is indeed the Microsoft Surface account on Twitter that contacted me. And yes, they certainly came through. Man, what a blessing this has been. You know, I said 2023 was going to be a year of change. And last year we reviewed numerous tablets, of course, that I receive as a quid pro quo, right? You do the video, or you get the device, you do the video review. And most of the time it's positive. You know, there's some negatives here and there. But that whole cycle continues as they release new products, whether it's XP Pen, Huion, Wacom, Yugi, SenseLab, whoever, you know, in term Samsung, right? And Microsoft just said, hey, in celebration, and since you've been a loyal customer to us, and you post, and we love your artwork, we'd like to give you a computer on the house. Have a nice day. And I'm like, what? So, man, they didn't ask for a review or anything. And that's really one of those moments where you look at your, I know that in terms of people giving you stuff, it's not a big deal, right? You know, today's day and age, whenever it comes to marketing, it behooves them to do things in such a way that benefits their bottom line. But giving stuff away sometimes is something that doesn't happen a lot. I'm a huge proponent of giving stuff away. I've given computers, I've given cars, I've given other things. I'm not going to explain to you everything that I've given, but I give that because it helps inspire people, right? And I think that's what this is. This is an inspirational moment because they look at their they look at their entire, you know, run of selling this particular line, the Surface line, over the past 10 years, and they're like, who has really stepped out and promoted, you know, the products? And I love Surface line. I've owned, I believe, 9 Surface products, you know, all the way back to the Surface RT and Surface Pro 2, which I still own. And, you know, I've had 2 Surface books. I've had a, you know, Surface Pro, 2 Surface Pro 3s, a Surface Pro 5, a Surface Pro 8. And most recently, in the review that I did for you guys, was the Surface Laptop Studio. And I said it was one of the best drawing experiences on a portable device. It is absolutely phenomenal. So, long-winded me is going to get into the Surface Laptop Go 2. Now, who is this particular device for? At a price point of around $600 before you start adding peripherals, peripherals being, you know, maybe you're going to add Office, right? That's $100 a year if you're not a teacher or a student. And then you can add a mouse, which is typically $75 to $100 because it doesn't come with a mouse. And it does not support pen, so you don't have to worry about pen. But who is this device for? You know, I started looking at it after I received it in the box and, you know, did the unboxing. And I was super excited to see what the internals, you know, whenever you get a device for free, a lot of times you think, oh, it's going to be the worst device that they could have. It's going to be the bottom of the line. It's going to be garbage. And this is just, you know, them getting rid of their stock. No, this is an i5 11th gen processor, 8 gigs of RAM. I think it's 2.4 to 2.7 or 3.0 gigahertz in speed. 128 gigabyte SSD, upgradable. That in and of itself, it is an upgradable computer. A lot of the machines that have been for sale in the marketplace recently have the solid state drive welded to the motherboard. So you can't upgrade. Macintosh, that's a very good example. Macintosh, you cannot upgrade the Macintosh, and they don't even have an SSD slot. So you're stuck with whatever. That's an incentive for you to spend money, by the way. And you can upgrade this computer eventually. That in and of itself is wonderful. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the unboxing recording because I went ahead and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a computer, which is hilarious because I get stuff all the time. But I got so excited and I went ahead and I taped the unboxing and everything. And let's just say that I was floored. You know, whenever I got my Surface Laptop Studio in, of course I was floored, but I knew what I was getting. I looked at the landscape and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And I was not disappointed. This, on the other hand, I was pleasantly surprised because this is not one of their high echelon i7 processors, you know, drawing machine or video editing machine. This is kind of what's known as the meat and potatoes. The meat and potatoes computer. Your average Joe is not going to go and spend $3 grand on a computer. And at $600 before you start adding peripherals or a warranty, I think it comes with a year warranty, this computer is probably akin to a MacBook Air. And, you know, or a Samsung Galaxy Book or Galaxy Laptop or something like that. And it being Microsoft, the fit and finish, the quality, everything that I can see is super high super high quality. I've reviewed Dell machines, I've reviewed Lenovo, I've reviewed HP, I've reviewed Microsoft, I've reviewed I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Samsung. And the only computer that I haven't reviewed laptop-wise is going to be a Mac because, you know, I don't see myself purchasing that because I can't draw on it. This being a gift and it doesn't have pen support, I can't draw on it, but I can connect a either a display tablet because it does have USB-C and it has USB 3.2. So with that USB-C port, I can connect a lot of the modern tablets, display tablets, and you know, peripheral drawing tablets. So that being said, let's go ahead and get on to the unboxing. And then after that, I am probably going to visit their website. You can see the device and see the upgrades and see how much it costs. This is going to be a different kind of a quote-unquote review because it is not a quid pro quo. And my review glasses, even though they will be on, will probably look at this from a different standpoint because I'm not going to be quote-unquote drawing on this device. This is literally going to be kind of like a family computer. And that's kind of what it's designed for. You know, web browsing, watching videos, doing word processing, maybe some light video editing. And since it is a full PC with an i5, you probably will be able to run Photoshop. I'll stick the Adobe Creative Suite on there and see how it drives. And then we'll give it a, you know, a rating. And I'm anticipating some positive things to happen. And I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and get started with the unboxing in reverse, right? I've already done the unboxing and taped it. So let's go ahead and get started and we'll get busy reviewing the Surface Laptop Go 2. So enjoy. And here is the box as I received it in the mail today. Actually, it was in another box. It was in a FedEx box because they wanted to get it to me pretty quick. I'm very happy about that as well. Here is the wonderful device to open. Clamshell box. I'm not going to criticize anything with regards to the packaging, again, because this is not a traditional unboxing. Okay, but it is, you know, recycled. It says packaging was designed with the planet in mind. Oh, this is cool. So whether you guys know it or not, the Surface is 10 years old this year. 2013 was the first year for the Surface family. I remember the commercials whenever they came out. And talking about the kickstand, says there's no one else we'd rather celebrate with. Thanks for being part of the Surface family. We're just getting started. 10 years of Surface. Huh, that's funny. Instead of service, it's Surface. Ha, I get it. 10 years of innovation, design, originality, creation, and community. So we're looking at some of the models that they had, 2012. Actually, 2012 would be the 10-year, right? Or it came out in the fall, and then they started shipping them in 2023. So 2016, the Puck, there's the headphones, 2018, and 2021, there's the Surface Laptop Studio. So I actually own the Surface headphones too. Wonderful device. Wonderful pair of headphones. I own that. I think I've owned that. I have definitely owned that. And like I said, I still own my Surface Pro 2, and it still works. And they include little stickers. These little stickers are so cute. It looks like these little stickers go on the back of the computer. I wonder. Okay, so we're going to put those to the side because I'm not a very good sticker guy. I've got very stubby fingers. So let's go ahead. We'll lift this up, see if there's any goodies underneath. There's a box. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the outer clamshell box. Very nice, very nice. I love the simplicity. Simplicity to me speaks volumes whenever it comes to design, and also ease of use. You know, whenever you have stuff for retail, a lot of times you'll overdo the packaging, but this particular device, let's go ahead and put the device to the side or on the bottom. Don't put the device on the bottom, that's what I want to see. This is cool. Surface, Microsoft Surface Laptop Go 2. So that indicates that there was a Laptop Go 1 for commercial and education customers. Okay. This is nice. This is very nice. As it flies out of my hand. Surface Laptop Go-To, safety and regulatory guidelines, a little backer card. I don't know what that is. They'd actually have to print that. What is that for? Oh, it's to show 2 items. This is probably this quick start guide showing you what it is, showing you the peripheral areas. So it does have 2 microphones at the top. It supports USB-A on the left, USB-C on the left, and that lovely headphone jack. And then you have the power button with fingerprint sensor. That's awesome. And then it has the power port on the right-hand side with a camera. Front-facing camera, microphone, Surface Connect port, USB ports, headphone jack, etc., etc., etc. Blah, blah, blah. Put that back in here. And then we have probably... That's interesting. Okay. I mean, it's a very robust box if you flip it over. I mean, it's connected here. It's got volume. That's very nice. Okay. And looks like the power brick. Slide out the power supply. Very cool. I don't know what the... Typically on here it'll tell you... What is this? 39 watt. This is the 39 watt charger. I believe the one I have for my laptop studio is a 42 watt charger. And of course you plug this in here. And this will be plugged into the side. I've already got my laptop studio plug right here, so I will probably utilize that when starting up. So let's go ahead and unbox. This is a anti-magnetic sleeve. Oh wow, it's got a purple hue to it. It is beautiful. It's heavy. Oh man, I thought my laptop studio was heavy. This is actually pretty heavy. I'm pleasantly surprised. Made in China, model 2013. Very nice anodized plastic. I believe that's plastic. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the operating system updates, and this is me opening the cover after I've done that and showing you the ease of operation of the fingerprint sensor. Pretty cool. And I wanted to show you some B-roll of the machine itself. Here's the keyboard, which is amazing. Probably top 3 keyboards I've ever used on any device. The screen is beautiful, just over high definition. And the anodized aluminum is wonderful. Here's a close-up shot of the peripherals on the left-hand side. And here we are on Microsoft.com. I always like to give something called context whenever I review a product. That means not just reviewing the product, but attaching the branding to the product and understanding what you're getting whenever you purchase a product like this. Microsoft is a top-tier company, right? Whenever you purchase a product like this, it's not going to be Joe's laptop. You're going to get top-quality support, you're going to get top quality product design, you're going to get top quality interface, you're going to get the latest updates, you're going to get all these things that are associated with purchasing a Microsoft product. Now, that being said, this particular website, Microsoft.com, is very robust. You can see they're offering tons of different tons of different products, from Microsoft Word to Xbox games, Microsoft 365, Windows 11. You can get accessories. There's different tiers of business opportunities for business opportunities. There's different business outlets that you can buy in bulk. So that being said, I've already viewed, just for my own understanding, the laptop 2. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. Now, for those of you laymen that are coming to this particular site, here's the tabs. You can click on the Surface devices, and there's a myriad of different Surface devices that will cater to your every need, whether you're creative, whether you're just wanting something to view the internet, whether you want a tablet, a 2-in-1, a hybrid, a desktop. they kind of have covered the gamut with regards to computers. So we're going to go and click on this. There we go. Let's get a little animation. What's really cool, it says sleek, light performance on the go. So we're going to look at this starting from $5.99, and it comes in different colors from platinum to sage, which is a green, to ice blue, which is what this one is, which by the way is absolutely phenomenal, and to sandstone, kind of like a gold color. This is aluminum right here, and the anodized aluminum casing, and then it's got a rubberized plastic covering on the bottom. So we're going to look at the tech specs really quick. Okay, so screen is 12.4 pixel sense display. Whenever it comes to understanding how companies will build their computers, they have to build in a very hefty amount of profit, whether it's 70, 80, 90% profit. It depends on, you know, the device itself and how they're trying to utilize that to push their branding. So some of the higher end, I'm installing the Adobe Creative Suite, some of the higher end computers will basically, those computers are, I don't want to say they're not money makers, they are, but they don't have as high of a margin. A device like this is going to have a really high profit margin because they're going to be marketing it to schools, they're going to be marketing it to, you know, like a bread and butter machine. It's like, that's what it's, in my opinion, that's what it's named. So with this Pixel Sense, they've trademarked that particular word, that phrase, to coincide with their display technology. So similar to what Apple and their Retina, and then you have some of the other screen technologies. I think Dream Color was HP. It always makes me laugh because a lot of those, it's the same technology, they've just kind of put their spin on it. 1536 by 1024, so it's just above HD. Aspect ratio of 3.2 with touch, 10-point multi-touch. So it does have touch. Awesome. So let's look. See, where's my pen? See if it has pen support. It may. You never know. Nope, no pen. Yep, it does not have pen support, but it has touch, which is nice. So that's always nice to have. Touch is really cool. So you get either 4 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes of LPDDR4. I think the latest computers are DDR5. I'm not sure if DDR6 has come out yet. The 11th gen Intel Core i5. I believe this one's 2.4 with turbo boost up to 2.7 gigahertz. Windows Home 11. It's preloaded with the 365 apps, but that is a subscription base, and it's $100 a year for non-students. Preloaded Xbox app, Xbox Game Pass, whenever you purchase it, is 1 month trial. It does have an ambient light sensor, so whenever it's in certain light conditions, it will dim the screen, and that particular sensor will also detect, you know, whether or not, how am I going to put this? It's akin to the battery, so it will sense your environment and dim and brighten the screen accordingly. The actual computer is 2.48 pounds. And here is the fun, the removable SSD drive, 128 or 256 gigabyte options. I did recently see, I went online onto youtube.com, and I saw that somebody had popped the bottom cover off, which you can do. I think it's 6 screws on the bottom. It pops off with 1 cable, and then you take the cover off, and then you can install the SSD. I'm not sure if that voids the warranty or not, but at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it exactly at 128, because that's what this machine is. This is the 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabyte i5. 13.5 hours of typical usage. This right here is probably a wonder number, and they put that out there at optimal conditions. Heat, cold, all of those affect battery life. Also, screen brightness affect battery life. All those things you need to take into consideration, and I call it the tongue-in-cheek number. 13.5, I'm thinking real world, maybe 10. It may get better than that. I haven't tested it, you know, to its extent. We get into the Intel Iris Xe graphics, which is a shared graphics processor. And it does well. I've used the Xe graphics on, I believe, on the Samsung, and I believe on my Surface Laptop Studio. Don't quote me on that. So it does have connections, one USB-C, one USB-A, and of course the headphone jack, which I was delightfully surprised. And the Surface Connect port, which is over here, compatible all the way back into Surface Pro 3. So if you have some of those peripheral chargers, they will work with this device. It does have Wi-Fi 6, 802.11ax compatible, so that has to do with the bandwidth of the router. Some older computers can't connect to the new routers because the new signal travels farther, it carries more data packets, and they can't handle that particular wavelength. So I noticed that whenever I tried to connect an older Sony device, I ran into that issue. It's aluminum, the base is aluminum polycarbonate, sage, sandstone, ice blue, and platinum, composite glass, fiber, and 30% post-recycled. So they're trying to inject a recycled component into these machines. It's got a 1-year warranty. And it does have the finger sensor right here. I showed that just a moment ago for you guys that, it doesn't have, I don't think it has Windows Hello. I could see. Battery capacities, looks like, what was it, 41 milli? I don't know. It's nominal. These are all numbers that some people care about. I don't really care about these numbers until, they matter, right? So build your device. Let's go ahead and build. Let's see what we can get out of this machine. Okay, so you can get 16 gigabytes of RAM on this machine. Wow. I'm floored. So you can see the possibilities. The Core i5 4 gigs. I would probably stay away from this one just because you need that extra RAM to have multiple programs open. Then this one, which is the 128 8 gig at $599, Intel i5, and then you go up another 70 or 80 bucks, and you can get another whatever it is, 130 gigs worth of storage. And then this one's probably going to be the most popular right here. This one is not going to be as popular, and this is going to be the least popular because a lot of people will look at that price and say, well, what's the difference? It's the same processor, but you get double the RAM and you get that extra 130 gigs of storage. I would probably go with this one, but, it is what it is. It says, yes, I am a teacher, so I would actually get pricing. Retail's $9.99. With student pricing, it's $8.79, teacher pricing, and then $6.79 going down, so on and so forth. So, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to install some programs, and I'm going to attach a simple drawing tablet to it and go through the motions and see how it drives in Photoshop. Okay, and here we are. I've installed Photoshop. It's the latest iteration of Photoshop. Help. System info. Yeah. No, we're not doing that. Just trying to show you the current. Alright, well, it's current iteration of Photoshop. From the Adobe Creative Suite, I have a subscription, so we'll go new. And just so they were at 300 DPI, and we're going to go a little bit bigger, so we're going to go 15 by 12 at 300 DPI, and we're going to have a toned background. Now I'm doing this, let me see here, view, screen mode, okay, window, workspace, we're going to go workspace, we're going to go to the painting workspace, here we go. And I've installed some of my custom brushes. Now, one thing I don't have, snap! I don't have my quick key remote, but I don't need it because I've got the lovely keyboard in front of me. So, let's go ahead and zoom in. This is going to show you whether or not this can... I hate flick panning. Ugh. Let's go here. Okay, preferences, workspace. Okay, interface, general, flick panning, file handling. I don't go in here that much. I do enable gestures. Oh, I hate flick panning. Okay, so here we go. No more flick panning. See, I like it whenever it's like that. Okay. Let's go over here to the brushes. Now this is a very good telltale sign of whether or not the machine's going to be taxed. There's a brush that I utilize a lot, and it doesn't draw at all. Yeah, okay, so, oh, that's why. You see that little guy up there? See that little thing right there? It'll draw inside of there. Okay, no, we're not going to do that. So we'll go D, now we're good to go. You're like, what's wrong, man? What's wrong with the machine? Oh, wow. Okay, so this is fantastic. Drawing-wise, wonderful. So I'm using just a simple little side tablet here. I didn't want to go on the display because I wanted to show the prowess of this machine. So, oh yeah, I'm not getting any lag, we're getting nice zoom, we're at a 300 dpi. Now obviously I don't have a lot of layers, so let's go ahead and open up one of my existing illustrations to see if it freaks out. And this is, again, to show you the power of this particular machine. La 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 la, relaxing, beans relaxing. It's 165 megs, I'm looking for a really big one. 400 and snow, 135, 225. That's a pretty decent size. 225 megs. I mean, if we get up to like 500 megs, then that's probably... Okay, so 225. Let's open this up. It's not instantaneous. Okay, so... Okay, going in. Okay, so far so good. As you can see, let's go ahead and get rid of some of these. There's too many windows open. I don't like all these windows. Okay, I don't use channels too much. I don't use paths too much. Okay, so when I typically have an issue with lag, as you can see, I've got multiple layers here, and I don't use a lot of layer effects, but I do have a lot of clipping masks in here, and you can see just overall I'm not getting any hesitation. So let's go ahead and file. Let's see how big this is. 12 by 15 at 300 dpi, cancel. So in terms of illustration wise, yeah, let's see if we have any hesitation. So also, one of the things they don't tell you in school or in the professional field is this. So on Microsoft machines, by default, this is on. This is the OneDrive. Okay, the OneDrive saves everything on your desktop. You can see all these little check marks, right? And it downloaded everything. And this is what my machine looks like on my Surface Laptop Studio. So what you can do, because this steals system resources, every time you hit save, this will steal your system resource. And it really is pretty significant. You're working. Why is it so slow? I just saved. Well, it's because of this. So what I typically will do is I will hit pause syncing, and that will free up the system resource, and it actually makes Photoshop quite snappy. You can see not having any issues at all with zooming, panning, you know, and I go in. So the big telltale sign here, and we're going to do this just to see if I can make it hurt. So this is a texture brush. Currently, let's see, I don't know how many pixels this is. So we're going to zoom in, and we're going to hit full screen. And we're going to go ahead, FF. Tab. We're going to make it big. So right now we're at about, once it breaches 500 pixels, that's a pretty decent sized brush, right? So it's not bad, guys. I am... And being a texture brush, typically texture brushes are the ones that chew really bad, and that's 1,000 pixels. So let's make it hurt. Let's do 5,000 pixels. There is hesitation, but it's a 5,000 pixel brush. What do you expect? The fact that it can even render it, I am pleasantly surprised. I don't use 5,000 pixel brushes, you know. That's just the way it is. So let's go back down to a reasonable size. This is about the size that I will typically use, right? Let's go full screen. So the drawing, I'm not looking in terms of drawing quality because, you know, this particular machine, you can't draw on the surface. But I can pinch and zoom. I'm not getting any lag. And overall, let's do this. We're just having a little bit of fun. I'm going to draw some Freddy. For those of you who don't know, Freddy is my Yeti character that I just love. I love him! Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Give him some hair. Here's where the horn is. Horn's on the other side. Okay. Messed it up! Do you know how hard it is to switch gears brain-wise? To go from drawing on a screen on a Mac, right? Oh, I just noticed something that happened. If you noticed it, too. And we're going to fix it. So, I talked about that ambient light sensor, right? Adjust the brightness, night light. Adjust the brightness of the display. Right here. Automatically when the light changes. So whenever you're moving around and it has reflective light off your hand, you'll see the screen go boop, 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 and it'll continually go in and out. And that just has to do with that ambient light sensor. We're going to turn that off so we can have consistent lighting. And then we're going to increase the brightness of the screen to the maximum. It's not super bright, but it does work for me. So what do I want him doing? So here's that leg. He's got that leg down here. Anyway, what I was talking about was switching gears from a PC and the quick keys on the PC, which, by the way, I don't have mastered. I'm constantly messing things up. I actually changed the keys on most of my PCs to match a Mac, called Key Tweak. I don't think Windows 11 supports that. So let's have, okay, so here. And then drawing on a screen to going on drawing on the side. I remember back in the day as I'm yelling at you, back in the day, whenever I would be training somebody and we would have these tablets because, you know, my company was cheap. The company I worked for was cheap and they couldn't afford Wacom Cintiq tablets at $2,500. Whenever these, you know, $50 ones were just fine. And they were so just frustrated. And I'm like, why are you frustrated? Because nobody in their right mind uses stuff like this. And I'm like, well, and they were used to using a mouse. And I said, it takes about 2 weeks to get used to this, roughly. And, you know, what I didn't say is it takes another 2 weeks to get used to it whenever you go back from a display. I'm a display tablet guy, if you haven't noticed. And I don't put down because, you know, these tablets do have their place in the world. But I am definitely, I am pro display tablet guy. Whoops. Whoops. I love my display tablets. Nobody in their right mind has a straw that does that. What are you, on dope? He's drinking himself a sody. Living his best life. So, this is, like I said, not a traditional review being, oh, the Microsoft Surface Go 2 doesn't draw, so, well, no, it doesn't, but it does have a touchscreen, and for those of you that don't necessarily have the money for a Surface Pro 9, which I think they're $1,000 now, because then you got to buy the pen, then you got to buy some of the other stuff. This is a great alternative. The tablet that I'm drawing on, this little side tablet from a company by the name of Yugi, I think this is $35, and this is wireless. I only have it plugged in right now because it needed to charge. And it is wireless, and it fits via the dongle. And what's really nice, the fact that I said dongle, dongle, and it's wireless, and you can put it in the front, you can put it on the side, and this has a smaller form factor in terms of sizing-wise, so it's not that large, and the trackpad is huge. I messed that up, didn't I? Just screwing stuff up there, juice box. Alright, so make these fingers big and meaty, because I like big and meaty. Big and meaty. That was my nickname in college. Big and meaty. I'm just kidding. I didn't have a nickname in college. You know what my nickname was? Hard work, diligence, sacrifice, and big and meaty. I'm just kidding. It wasn't big and meaty. Should have been big and meaty. Because I'm big and meaty. Oh, anyway, my wife says, honey, you gotta stop with the jokes, man. Stop with the jokes, bro. I'm like, woman, who are you dealing with? You're dealing with big and meaty. Anyway. So yeah, so far, no hesitation in Photoshop. What a wonderful, man. If I'd have had this, I tell you what, son, if I'd have had this back in the day, who knows what kind of delicious illustration work I could have been doing. I'm going to create his foot down here because I'm messing it up talking to you. I get distracted easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and file. Let's see how it saves. Alright, save as. Okay. Let's name this Big and Meaty. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. I don't care. I don't care. Viva la Big and Meaty! Okay, so what do I want to do with the other hand? Alright, got it. There's the crease right there. And it comes out right there, and his elbow's right there. Yeah, sometimes I have a little bit too much fun. I gotta give him something to wear. His foot, I don't know about his foot. His foot needs to be facing me more. Okay, give a lays out in the wilderness in his native environment. Yeah, dude, this is... For this being a quote-unquote budget-minded computer, for those of you looking for a computer that... You know, I always get that one guy, right? Or gal, or whoever. That one human. Or an alien. Did you see all the stuff that's flying around in the sky? Whew. Whoops. That one person, brah, can it run Photoshop? Brah, can it do this? Brah. Brah. I had one guy that contacted me and every other word was brah. I'm like, alright, well, it is what it is. Everybody has their own way of doing things, I guess, brah. The way this is okay. This right here, it's got his feet. F. Okay, let's do this. What is this? Oh no, not doing that. You can see, since I don't have my quick key remote, I'm literally lost. Okay, that's off. Good. Let's do this. Again, this is not supposed to show you the... I'm not reviewing this tablet, this Yugi tablet. It's just okay in terms of drawing experience. I mean, it's good, but it's not like da bomb. And I'm not getting... see. Getting a weird anomaly. There's a weird anomaly going on. Okay, something's going on in the background. You know how whenever you're working, and then file, save. I wonder if it didn't take. No, that's paused. That's good. What is this? It's doing a weird flicker. Do you see that? Why is it doing that? That might be because I don't have it on power. Okay. However, I can resolve that. Okay, after a little bit of examination, and the reason why I was getting a little bit of hesitation, it's because I had the smoothing on at 99%, and I'm sitting here drawing going, what in the heck, dude? And I'm getting a little bit of fan noise, as you can hear. It is not obtrusive at all. Of course, you know, whenever I draw, I typically have headphones in, so I don't really deal with a lot of the same headaches that some people do. Now, that fan noise is there, and you have to understand if you're in like a library, who goes to the library anymore? I mean, honestly, I go to the library because I love books. So yeah, if you're in the library and you're, you know, working, and fan noise is irritating other people, just deal with it, I guess. I don't know. Do what you can. It's not loud. Okay, so currently I'm running Photoshop, full version of Photoshop, illustrating 300 DPI. I forget the size, whatever it was, 15 by 12, 12 by 15. And it is phenomenal. This is a phenomenal machine, very powerful. I'm actually running it in the recommended setting. It's not even in the highest power setting. So I would surmise if you've got a huge document that requires a lot... Hold on, I'm trying to draw while I talk to you. That requires a lot system resources, then just jack that up to power mode, and I'm sure that'll resolve some of your issues. I hope. Now, am I going to be doing a bunch of video editing on this? No, that's not what this is for. That's not this bag, baby. Right? As I sit here and I draw and I have tons of fun. This is, you know, like I said in the intro package, this is kind of like a family catch-all, right? Something the kids could, you know, play. They're gonna play Halo. I'm just kidding. No, you're not going to be playing games on this. So what you're going to be doing is, you know, with that high-definition camera, with some of the other items on here, on that list, this is kind of like a family catch-all computer. You could compare it to like a Chromebook. Now, I don't know the price point of the Chromebooks because honestly, I've got enough Google in my life. I don't want them controlling my computer as well. And I've never really subscribed to that, you know, operating system, the Android operating system. I don't like it. I know some of you do. My son uses it on his phone. I'm just not a fan. And honestly, Chromebooks to me are just, you're paying quite a bit and you're not getting a huge, you're not, you know, full applications. I want to be able to install full applications. And this really just fills all those spots. You know, if you want to sit down and do a little video watching, if you want to throw this in your bag and throw one of these in your bag too, then yeah, it is a very capable art machine. You know, I wanted to make sure you understood that there are, you know, caveats to owning a machine like this, and you need to understand that it's not going to be a super high performance. Honestly, more and more I think about it, especially recently, the only machine that really has given me a lot of problems did have an i7, but it was like 2016, 2015, and it did have a dedicated graphics card, and the operating system was no longer able to be upgraded. So, that being said, machines like this with these next generation processors are really good. I talked to a friend of mine recently online, and he was so up in the air. He's like, I gotta have a dedicated graphics card, I gotta have 32 gigs of RAM, I gotta have all these things to be happy, quote unquote. And I said, well, with the new machines and the way they're doing things with the multi-cores and the shared graphics and the streamlining and getting rid of that quote unquote controller between the CPU, the RAM, and the GPU, that controller and some of those communication lines, you're getting rid of those and you're placing the graphics card onto the motherboard, and you're getting these streamlined processes that are so much faster than what you would expect. It's like whenever I did the Samsung device, I was like floored of how fast it was just doing illustration. And let's be honest, I'm not doing super taxing super taxing tasks on these machines. I mean, I'm an illustrator. I'm not, honestly, this is plenty. I remember back in the day spending, thousands and thousands of dollars on computers and getting these hefty graphics cards, and me thinking I needed all that, when in actuality I didn't. So it's very important for you as a person that does stuff like this. You need to educate yourself on what you need, and don't rely upon the salesman to do it, because what's going to happen is they're going to sell you something you don't need. Yes, you need that additional graphics card. Yes, you need that additional RAM. Yes, you need the addition. And honestly, it's up to you, to educate yourself. And I'd say 16 gigs of RAM on this machine would be plenty. It does offer that in the online. You can get 16 gigs of RAM. I think that in a pinch, if you can't afford 16, 8 will be fine. This seems to be running Photoshop really well. I'm not getting any hesitation at all. And I mean, look at this. It's just phenomenal. And in terms of running multiple programs, so let's go ahead and I'll go ahead. Let me see here. I'll go ahead and launch a browser. Right? Let's go to YouTube. YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. So YouTube is running in the background. Let's go ahead and turn that up. Okay, so again, now we've got an additional program running, and I'm just drawing in Photoshop, doing some ink work. Again, I'm not feeling any hesitation. That's the big thing. It's like if I were to draw and then I were to get that severe hesitation, that would be a deal breaker for me. Again, texture brush.
Now remember, one of the things that, again, I take for granted is understanding how screws
There's me coughing on that video. Gosh, that irritates me. Allergies. So, those of you who have been with me for a while know that I've dealt with allergies for a while, and I apologize for that. I have struggled, oh my gosh, with my entire life with allergies. And then I was, you're like, take a allergy pill, you moron. And I did. I took allergy pills, but allergy pills, they weird me out. They especially stuff like Allegra. I think Allegra should be banned in the United States because honestly, it causes depression in me, and I'm sure I'm not the only person. It causes depression and, thoughts that aren't indicative of me as a person. I'm like, why am I thinking about my life choices so much? It's because I took Allegra. No, Allegra is the only one that works. Golly, isn't that funny? Not really, it's depressing. Let's go ahead and
I'm not going to show you that because that's
okay, let's get rid of this so you didn't see any hesitation when I was running this. None. I was talking about Allegra, it's the only one that works. None of the other ones work for me. Right? You're like, well, try Claritin, try Grit. Okay, see, you're saying things that I've already done. I remember back in the day, I used to get allergy shots. About once a week, I'd go to the doctor, me and my mom, make it a whole thing. She's like, gotta go get your allergy shot. And I'm like, oh. She's like, McDonald's. And I'm like, woohoo! McDonald's, woohoo! Happy Meal. Actually, they didn't have a Happy Meal back in the day. Get a quarter pounder with cheese or something like that. I was never a Happy Meal kid. I liked them. I like Happy Meals now more than I did back when I was a kiddo. And then they came out with them. I'm like, I don't need a Happy Meal. Give me a quarter pounder or a big... I was a Big Mac. I love the apple pies. As I segue and get distracted by another squirrel. Good grief. Sorry about that, guys. So what I'm doing basically is I'm going back and I'm inking, right? And I'm not having any issues. I love this. I was actually going to take this machine and give it to my lovely bride, which I still am. I mean, you get the machine in and she peeks in and she's like, "Hey, is that the machine that Microsoft sent you?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Huh, that's pretty nice." She works from home as well, and she's been she's been on my Lenovo now for a long time. She was on my Surface Book for a while, and yeah, the battery went south on the Surface Book, and I had to repair it. That was a disaster. I repaired it, and of course, those are machines that aren't really repairable. The early Surface Books, you can't take them apart, and that was less than desirable. Anyway, so I got it apart because, you know, I'm me, and I was very careful. Don't worry, I was very careful. I got everything situated, and I got the battery replaced, and I went to go and, you know, get everything back together, and this part of the touchscreen didn't work. And I'm like, crap. So, which means the touchscreen didn't work in that area. You know what else doesn't work? The pen. So now I can't even draw on it. So now it's just a computer. Anyway, so yeah, she was on that for a while, and the battery ended up swelling, and it pushed out the screen. That was a whole thing. So, even though I like Microsoft, and this is probably indicative of a lot of computers whenever they're in technology development, even though that computer had gone through generations of testing, the battery on the inside, that lithium-ion battery, you know, whenever it was taxed with that i7 processor and that graphics card, the heat inside baked the battery and it caused it to swell. That was a little bit dicey, if you ask me, because I was like, oh crap. So I had to replace the battery. So if you have a Surface Book and you haven't had any issues, then yay for you. I love my Surface Book. Oh, so good. I could pop off that that screen. There's nothing like popping off that screen and using it as a tablet. So as you can see, once again, I go back to the fact that this is wonderful. This computer is very powerful. Plenty of power for me. I mean, this is literally, I hook up a display tablet to this thing. Let's do it. You know? But that's not what it's about. The display tablet kind of takes center stage, right? takes center stage because, you know, it's all about the drawing process, and that's what it is. But again, this is not about the drawing process. This is to show you that this Surface Laptop Go with the i5 is a very capable machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys on time lapse. You're going to watch me do this. Hopefully you'll watch me. Don't fast forward. How dare you? Just enjoy the process. Sit down with a cup of joe. A cup of joe. For those of you who don't know what cup of joe is this very large Southern man. I'm just kidding. Because I live in the South, son. There's lots of large individuals up in here. I kid. No, a cup of joe is coffee. So if you don't drink coffee, get a cup of tea. That's a cup of... I don't know. It's not. I was gonna say cup of Jane, but people are like, dude, Jane is weed. No, I don't want you to get a cup of weed. Let's go ahead and do this. Little wrinkles underneath. Yeah. All right, let's get you guys on time lapse, and we'll do a final wrap up using. Yeah, I need to fix this. It needs to be out here. Using the Microsoft Surface Laptop Go 2. So far, what a wonderful, much better, wonderful machine. So let's get you on time lapse. And here's where I landed with the illustration of Freddy taking a sip from a sody, or pop for those of you who are crazy. I'm just kidding. A kid! Good grief. Give me some slacks. A kid. I know that everybody calls carbonated beverages something different. What I'm doing right now is just finally going, I'm giving it a little bit more what you call it? A little bit more contrast. So I'm using some watercolor brushes, and of course, watercolor brushes are they tend to take a little bit more system resources, and this is flying through it. So overall, I am super stoked to have this particular machine, the Surface Go 2, added to my computer. Well, it won't be mine. Computer resources. So go ahead and hit S and full screen, and there he is. So what did I think about the Microsoft Surface laptop? It's not laptop. Surface Laptop Go 2. Laptop Go 2. So I am typically one of those guys that just as long as the computer does everything that it's advertised, I don't have any issues with it. This actually went far and above what I expected. You know, I had done a little bit of research, and I actually thought that I was going to get the Surface Go 2, not the Surface Laptop Go 2. And that Surface Go 2, although you can draw on it and you can do some light work here and there, you know, from what I reviewed or what I saw, it was kind of lagging and lacking in resources. However, this machine with that 11th gen Core i5 with 8 gigs of RAM really kind of fits nicely in that niche of being a catch-all for the family. Is it a workhorse? No. Is it a drawing computer? Well, if you hook up a peripheral drawing tablet to it, sure. It has the capability to support Photoshop and a lot of the other Adobe programs. I didn't run Adobe Premiere or Premiere Rush or After Effects or any of those really intensive programs that require a graphics card. But if you want to throw this in your bag and have a drawing tablet with you, or if you're a student and you're looking to have a computer for school, I think this is a great option. You know, it's got a beautiful screen. The only thing, here's the thing, the only thing that I think should be an upgrade, just because, you know, if you are going to use it or utilize it for an art machine, you really need to have minimum 256 gigabytes worth of storage. If you were to do any kind of video editing or anything like that, you're going to run into scratch disks running out. If you do any kind of art files, for that matter, you're going to run into that issue. It does say you can replace the SSD, and I've seen it done on YouTube. So I don't think that that would inhibit you from utilizing this as a decent resource. And there's other, you know, there's storage. You can buy a standalone SSD drive if you really, you know, need that capability. It does have that USB-C port on the side. Interesting thing is I think my laptop, my Surface, I don't know. Let me look at that real quick. Because I'm interested I'm always interested. Yeah. So this is interesting. So this machine that's not really marketed as a quote-unquote higher end machine, it is kind of right in the middle. It's got a standard USB 3.0, 3.2 on the side, and I was able to plug in my wireless dongle for my drawing tablet. Here's my Surface Laptop Studio, and all it has is USB-Cs on the side. It doesn't even have that 3.0 standard USB on there. That in and of itself is not a deal breaker for me, because at the end of the day, I've got peripherals that supply me with extra ports. But the fact that this has that already really kind of speaks volumes to how they're marketing this particular machine. Do I think you should buy this if you're a budding artist? Sure. Then you're going to have to obviously buy some type of drawing tablet. And I've got numerous videos on my channel, plug, reviewing different tablets. But you don't need to go overboard with your drawing tablet. You know, you can get something similar to what I showed when I was drawing, which is just a simple, you know, sit along the side. Will a display tablet hook up to this? Probably, and I know just based upon the fact that I've used Iris graphics from my Surface Laptop Studio that it does have the capability to run at least, you know, a high definition 1080p screen. Whether or not that's going to tax the processor, I really don't know. But again, this isn't a review quid pro quo. This is basically me looking at the machine and kind of using it in ways that it probably wasn't designed to do, right? But it still stood up and it's like, yeah, I'll do whatever you need me to do. So that's all I had for you guys today. I just wanted to say thank you to Microsoft and all the wonderful people over there that are innovating and pushing that envelope. And you can say what you want about Microsoft, but I've used their Surface products and I've used their operating system. Believe it or not, I'm a Mac guy. I came from a Mac background, and I wanted a drawing computer, and back in the day, the iPad Pro didn't exist, or iPad that had pencil support. I had tried numerous styluses, and then I saw the commercial 10 years ago that Surface put out about having an all-in-one that ran desktop level applications and then had a drawing experience. And I didn't care. I didn't even go to the, back then they didn't even have Microsoft stores. So I went and I purchased one. And back in the day, the Surface Pro 2 had Wacom EMR technology, and I could draw on a computer. My mind was blown. I came from a Mac background. I got the Surface, and it basically it changed the way that I viewed all, you know, tablet computers. The Surface is sort of, I guess they could be considered maybe the originator of the all-in-one. You know, you get a tablet experience, you get a desktop experience, you get a portable experience, you get a, you know, all these things in one. And the whole Surface line really caters to those that need a lot from their devices. And the Surface Laptop Go 2, this machine right here, fit and finish, quality, pricing, all that, really just right in that sweet spot. So that's all I had for you guys today, and hopefully you enjoyed the drawing and the drawing process. And once again, thank you guys for watching and subscribing. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And you know, big thanks again to Microsoft for providing me with this particular machine, and I will use it in mighty ways. Okay, thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.